Hello students, once again welcome to the video lectures of University Physics, Electricity and Magnetism. This lecture is about the chapter Alternating Current. This is the lecture 15 of this lecture series and the third lecture of the chapter Alternating Current, that is your chapter 31. And in this lecture, I will discuss about LRC series circuit using AC source. I think you can recall in chapter 30, we have discussed LRC series circuit. In this case, no source is given. First, the capacitor is fully charged, then the capacitor to an inductor and to a resistor. That means you can see the capacitor discharges through the resistor and inductor. Here, if the resistance is comparatively small, we are observing a current is flowing in the circuit, but the peak value of the current gradually decreases. The current in the circuit gradually decreases. Obviously, it is an oscillating current, but it is having a gradually decreasing amplitude. And we name this circuit as your damped circuit, because gradually the current becomes zero and the oscillation dies out. And if the resistance is very large, even if there is no oscillation and the current becomes zero, and if also when your resistance is not very large but a critical value, also there is no oscillation of charge and you can say current. So accordingly, we have named it as underdamped, critical damped circuit and overdamped circuit. And also we compared this to that of your damped oscillation, damped mechanical oscillation. So in this case, we'll discuss when all three are connected. Yeah, here one thing is that here initially the capacitor is not charged. We can take a capacitor, then an inductor, and then a resistor, then all three are connected to an AC source, then what will happen? You can compare these to that of the forced vibration. If you have remembered, in damped oscillation, under damped oscillation, what happens? The body oscillates. In each oscillation, successive oscillations, the amplitude decreases gradually and finally the body comes to rest. But in forced vibration, when periodic external force is applied, the body tends to vibrate. Or you can say the body continuously oscillates. Yeah, it oscillates with the frequency of the external periodic force. Here your AC source play the same role as that of the external periodic force, because you know that AC source also is an EMF source which varies sinusoidally with time, so it can be considered as a also external periodic force. So we'll discuss this, but before going to this, let us know the resistor and inductor and the capacitor behave in an AC circuit. In the second lecture of this chapter, we have discussed resistor in an AC circuit, inductor in an AC circuit, and capacitor in an AC circuit. Also, we have discussed what is the phase difference between the current and voltage in the AC circuit when it contains only inductor, then only capacitor, then only resistor. And what is the voltage across the inductor and what is the voltage across the capacitor. So everything we have discussed. Okay. So now, taking all these into consideration, now we'll discuss the LRC series circuit with AC source. So going to this, let us just compare the AC circuit elements. That means your resistor, inductor and capacitor. Okay. So here it is just mention omega in x-axis. This is a graph, omega versus R, and a term is written as X. Okay. So X stands for reactance and R for resistance. And what is omega? Omega is your angular frequency. So as now we are considering the AC circuit, so as all are connected to an AC source, so this omega is the frequency of that AC source. So that means here, what is X? Already you have discussed X is the reactance. Reactance means what? It is the resistance offered by either your inductor or capacitor. When you are considering the inductor, it is known as inductive reactance. When you consider the capacitor, it is known as capacitive reactance. Okay. So, as for DC circuit, now go to the mathematical definitions. What is inductive reactance? L stands for inductance, so inductive reactance is XL. So in the last lecture we have discussed this. So XL is omega into L. And XC is 1 by omega C. So for a DC circuit, direct current circuit, means there is no frequency. So omega is 0. So when omega is 0, so XL is 0. So there is no inductive effect. And what is XC when omega is 0? It is infinite. So there is no current through a car, as you know, capacitor doesn't carry DC current. So generally these circuit elements are used in AC circuit. Okay. So now let us see how these reactance varies with omega. As it is already mentioned, XL is equal to omega L. So XL is directly proportional to omega for a particular inductance value. So that means it is a linear function of omega. So when you draw a graph, this is just a straight line passing through the origin. So when omega increases, your XL linearly increases. So if the frequency is also very high, it is very difficult for the inductor to carry the current. Now see XC, it is inversely proportional to omega. So now this is your resistance. It doesn't depend upon omega. So now you can compare this. So resistance here doesn't depend upon omega. Xc is inversely proportional to omega and Xl is directly proportional to omega. So that's why here we can compare our XL, Xc and R. Already you know that what is the voltage across XL, what is the voltage across Xc, what is the voltage across R. Now let us consider the LRC series circuit with AC source. Now see, this is a series circuit. Here R, L and C are connected and this is the source of EMF. And here it is observed that for a particular cycle we are taking, the current flows in counterclockwise. And obviously when you go to the next half cycle, the polarity of the current will change. So now consider a particular case where it is in counterclockwise. So whatever may be, as it is a AC current and all are connected in series, the current flowing through R is same as that of L, is same that of C. That means in the circuit, the same current I is flowing. And how can you represent I? Generally, you represent I as what? I cos omega t. Yeah, this is small I. This is your instantaneous current. That is the current at any instant time t. And this I is the amplitude of the current, omega is the frequency. So I is I cos omega t. So I is the current amplitude. Now what is the total potential difference wave which appears in the circuit? You can find out the potential difference across the R, across the L, across the C. But what is the total potential difference? Yeah. As this is a source of EMF also you can say. So what is the potential difference supplied by this? As it is an AC source, obviously the potential difference is, it is also you can represent in terms of a AC source. That means it should be a sinusoidal function. So I equal to I cos omega t. Here exactly do not know. So let us represent the potential or the voltage is V cos omega t plus phi. This is the voltage amplitude, the capital P, and phi is the phase difference between I and V. Because you know that when the current is maximum, whether the voltage is maximum or what is the phase difference, we do not know. Just write in terms of cos omega t plus phi. Depending upon the value of phi, you can know what is the exact value of V. So then what is phi? Phi is the phase difference between I and the V. So gradually you can know what is the value of phi. So the instantaneous current at any instant of time, the current is I cos omega t, and the voltage, as all three are present, resistor, inductor and capacitor, we do not know what is the phase difference between the instantaneous current and voltage. So let us write this as V cos omega t plus phi. Now we will find out what is phi. Okay. So how can you find out phi? You can draw a phasor diagram. So what is the phasor diagram? In the past lecture we have discussed, in phasor diagram, what you are representing? Generally, your phasor diagram represents the instantaneous value of a quantity that varies sinusoidally with time. And what is the phasor? The phasor is a vector, you can say rotating vector. It's better to say it is a rotating vector whose length is equal to the amplitude of that physical quantity, which instantaneous value is to be determined. And generally, in an AC circuit, to represent current and voltage, we are drawing the phasor diagrams. So here, three voltages are there. One is voltage across the resistor, and the other is voltage across the inductor, and the next is the voltage across the capacitor. And already we have discussed that the voltage across the resistor is in phase with the current phasor. And the phasor BL, or you can say the voltage magnitude across the inductor, leads the current phasor by pi by 2. And the phasor BC means what? The voltage magnitude across the capacitor lags the current phasor by pi by 2. This leads, this lags. Already these things we know and also we have determined. And now let us considering this plot. Okay. So now when you plot, first current in all the cases is same, I equal to capital I sin cos omega t. We are taking the cosine form. So that means the current amplitude is same through all the you can say circuit elements. Sorry. So now this is the current phasor. This is I, and this is rotating along this direction at any instant of time. And this is the position of the vector. Magnitude doesn't change, but with time it is only rotates. So this is your I, this is omega t. So as you know that the phase difference between VR and I is 0. So which is the VR? VR is also along the same line as that of the I. So this is your VR. So this is your phasor for VR. This is your phasor for current. Now let us draw the phasor for BL. So this point is important. BL leads the current phasor by pi by 2. It leads. So if you take this is the present position, then pi by 2. So this is the BL and this is the current phasor. Sorry, this is the voltage phasor across the inductor. And BC lags this current phasor. So this is BC. So already I have told you, this is BL and this is BC. Then what is the phase difference between BL and BC? The phase difference between BL and BC is pi. So now you have to find out what is the voltage of the source. Because all of you know that whatever may be Kirchhoff's law, according to whatever the EMF is applied at any instant of time, what will be the EMF? The external EMF. This should be the summation of what? Voltage across the inductor plus voltage across the capacitor plus voltage across the resistor. Okay. And here you have taken in terms of what? Vector diagrams. So if this is BL, this is BC, you can find the resultant of BL and BC. As these are along the straight line but in opposite direction, what will be the resultant? The value will be either BL minus BC or BC minus BL. Let us take it BL minus BC. So if it is, this is BL minus BC means always this is the direction, this is BL minus BC. If it's positive, then it is this direction. If it's negative, then it is this direction. So let us consider a particular case. When here BL is greater than BC, because you know that BL is IXL and BC is equal to IXC. So if XL is greater than XC, that means the inductive reactance is more than capacitive reactance. Then also your BL is more than BC. Then BL minus BC is along this direction. Okay. Now, in this case, this is the resultant of BL and BC. This is your VR. And we are considering these phasors are rotating vectors. At a particular instant of time, let us consider this is one vector, BL minus BC. This is another vector, BR. So what is the resultant? The resultant is this V. And this is the voltage of the entire circuit. Okay. So obviously this is BL minus BC, this is VR. How can you find this? You can use triangle law. This is BL minus BC. Then imagine a vector here also. This is equal vector because these two are parallel. The magnitude is same. So if this is BR, this is BL minus BC by triangle law. This is the resultant. The resultant is B. So this should be also equal to what? The current in the circuit into the resistance of the entire circuit, which is taken as Z. As all the circuit elements of a resistance, we name this as what? Impedance. Because if you say resistance, generally the terms comes to our mind is R. Okay. So that's why this is termed impedance. Impedance is what? The resistance offered by the resistor, inductor and capacitor. So I think this is clear. So from the phasor diagram, it is clear that this is B and this is pi. As this value is given and this is given, so you can find pi in terms of what? BL, BC and VR. Also you can find Z in terms of BL, BC and VR. And now come to this figure. And in this figure, only the difference is that we are taking XL less than XC. Suppose the voltage across the inductor is less than that of the voltage across the capacitor. Your XL is less than XC. So in that case, what is happening? Your BL minus BC will be along this direction. So now this is your current vector as well as your VR. This is your VR, this is your BC, then this is your B. Now if you compare, this is B, this is current. Here this is B, this is current. What you are observing? Here phi is the phase reference because you know that this is rotating along this direction counterclockwise. Also you can take phi in counterclockwise. So here you can take phi is positive, but here phi is in opposite direction. So for convenience you can take this as phi is negative. So when XL greater than XC, you take phi is positive because this is along the direction of the rotating vector, or you can say along the direction of the rotating phasor. But this phi is in opposite direction to that of the rotating phasor. So here your phi is positive and in that case your phi is negative. So here phi is positive and here phi is negative. So that means in which case your phase difference between current and voltage is positive, we know, and which case it is negative. Now let us find out exactly what is the value of phi. Yeah. From the phasor diagram, what is your B? BR square plus BL minus BC square root over. Yeah. Because if you consider the triangle, this is a right angle triangle. This is BL minus BC, so this is BL minus BC. This is BR, so this is B. So what is B? The magnitude of B. So this is BL minus B0 square plus BR square root over. Also in this case the same thing. So which is equal to, as all of you know, your BR equal to IR. This is IR square plus what is BL? IXL minus IX0 square root over. So B equal to, you can take I outside. So I R square plus XL minus XG square root over. What should be this? This should be the resistance offered by all the three elements. So your B equal to I into Z. So simply you cannot say that the net resistance is R plus XL plus XC. But this is R square plus XL minus X0 square root over. As your voltage across the resistor, voltage across the inductor and voltage across the capacitor, they are not in phase with each other. That's why what is the net resistance or impedance? The impedance is equal to your R square plus XL minus X0 square root over. Okay, and you can write the value also. What is your XL? XL is omega L, sorry, and what is your XC? X is 1 by omega C. So you can write this as R square plus omega L minus 1 by omega C square root over. Okay. Now, phi is important. I have told you what is the phase difference. You should know, because you have to know that whether the current and voltage are in phase with each other or what is the phase difference. Now from the diagram, what is your tan phi? Tan phi is what? Your BL minus BC by BR. Or this can be written as BL is IXL, this is IXC, this is IXR. So you can write XL minus XC by XL. Or R, this is XL minus XC by, this is actually IR, not IXR, sorry, this is R. Not necessary to write XL. So this is XL minus XC by R. What is XL? Omega L minus 1 by omega C by R. So this is the phase difference. Tan inverse this much is the phase difference between the current and voltage in an RLC circuit. So you find the phase difference depending upon the value of omega, A, C and R. And for a particular circuit, when L, C and R is constant, the phase difference depends upon only omega. Now, as in the phasor diagram, I have shown you that when XL more than XC, tan phi is positive. Then come to this. And obviously, when XL is more than XC, this value is positive. R is always positive. So your phi is positive. But when XL less than XC, this value is negative. So phi is negative. Clear? Also from the mathematics, it is clear that when XL is more than XC, your tan phi is positive. That's why phi is positive. And when XL less than XC, tan phi is negative. That is phi is negative. So accordingly, we'll find out. Now you can say that the expression impedance, the expression for current and the phase difference, everything, you can say this is a general expression. And even if one circuit element is missing, this works, you can see. Now let us see how it works. Now let us consider a case. Suppose your resistor is missing. Then what will happen? Resistor is missing means you can put R equal to 0. So when R equal to 0 means what is your impedance? Omega L minus omega C. As R equal to 0, what is tan phi? Infinite, so phi is 90 degrees. Now let us come to the case when inductor is missing. Then it becomes a RC circuit. So when L equal to 0, so the impedance as phase angles will be what? R square plus 1 by omega c square root over. And what is tan phi? Tan phi is negative. So it is in between 0 to minus 90 degree. Because you know that only when only a capacitor is there, the voltage lags the current by 90 degree. So phase difference is negative. So in this case, as the resistor is there, it is from 0 to minus 90 degree. Similarly, if the capacitor is missing, then it is a RL circuit. So you can write C equal to infinite. So what is tan phi? Tan omega L by R, it is positive. So it is in between 0 to 90 degree. So that means you can use this expression in general. It may be RL, may be RC, maybe LC circuit. Okay. So here what we have discussed till now, we have discussed what is the LRC series circuit. So one thing is that, let me go to the slide. Yeah. Here what is mentioning finally, your V equal to I by Z. So V, or what is the current through the circuit? This is V by Z, and what is your Z? R square plus XL minus H square. That means for a particular frequency, there is a particular current flowing through the circuit. I equal to V by Z. A steady current is flowing through the circuit. Now you can compare this to that of the LRC series circuit, what we have discussed in chapter 30. In that case, as no external source is there, what is happening? The circuit becomes damped. It may be under damped, it may be critically damped, it may be over damped, depending upon what? Depending upon the resistance, isn't it? But here, the circuit oscillates with a particular current. If the voltage is given, this is a voltage amplitude. What is the current amplitude? The current amplitude is what? V by Z. And the current amplitude depends upon what? The current amplitude depends upon obviously the resistance and reactance offered by the elements. And for a particular case, it depends upon what? The resistance, inductance, capacitance, and the frequency of the applied source. Suppose you take a defined RLC circuit. R is constant, L is constant, C is constant. Then you connect it to a source of EMI having frequency omega. Then the current amplitude depends upon what? The current amplitude depends upon your frequency omega. Okay. And the current in the circuit oscillates with the frequency of the applied source. With the frequency of the applied source. And when the current amplitude becomes maximum, it also depends upon the value XL and XC. Obviously, this we will discuss in the next chapter. Not exactly next chapter, you can say the next lecture. Okay. So that means when an AC source is applied, the current in the circuit continues. So, what you have discussed here? You have discussed here what is the phase difference between current and voltage when inductor, capacitor, and resistor are connected in series with a AC source. What is the amplitude of the current in the circuit, and what is impedance, and what is the phasor diagram, how the impedance depends upon the inductance, capacitance, and resistance. So everything we have discussed. Now let us see how much you have understood. So this is the simple LRC series circuit. So our a resistor is there, an inductor, this is a capacitor, and it is given R is your 300 M, L is your 60 millihenry, and C is your 0.5 microfarad. So and omega is your what? 10,000 radian per second. So what is asked? Rank the following AC circuits in order of their amplitude. Rank the following AC circuits in order of their amplitude from highest to lowest value. When the circuit shown in the right, yeah. So that means here you have to arrange the AC circuit. Following AC circuit means here one AC circuit is given, then different conditions are imposed. So you have to find out what is the current in the circuit shown. Then what is the current in the circuit with capacitor and inductor both removed only when there is resistor. What is the current in the circuit when resistor and capacitor both removed? Only there is inductor. And what is the current in the circuit when resistor and inductor both removed? Only when there is capacitor. And we have to see that in which case the current is more. So as I have told you before going to the answers of the questions, first try to solve the answers by yourself. If not possible, then go to the next. That means go to the answer. So first thing is what is given? What is the current in the circuit given? In the circuit, everything is there. Resistor is there, inductor is there, capacitor is there. So resistance is offered by all. So let us find out the impedance. Because you know that the current is what? The voltage by impedance. So voltage is given 50 volt. So your 50 by current amplitude is given. So it is voltage amplitude by Z. What is your Z? R square plus XL minus XC whole square root of. We are finding XL is 600 ohm. XC is 200 ohm. So what is this much? This is your 50 volt by 300 ohm square plus 600 ohm minus 200 ohm square. That is your 300 ohm square plus 400 ohm square. This is your 500. So 50 by 500, which is equal to what? 0.1 ampere. So that means when all the three circuit elements are there, the current in the circuit is 0.1 ampere. Now let us see. The resistor and capacitor are removed. So there is resistor capacitor removed means what? There is no resistance, there is no capacitive resistance, only inductance. So what is I? V by XL. So this is 0.083 ampere. If the resistor and inductor are removed, then this is V by XC. This is 0.25 ampere. So if you arrange, when the current is more, the current is more when your resistor and inductor is removed, only when there is capacitor, because your frequency is very much high. Okay, so that's why X is less. So this is more. Then this is when only resistor is there. Then in the LRC series circuit, then the last one is when only inductor is there. So you can arrange it easily. Now let us work out a simple problem here. So what is asked in this series circuit? The suppose your R equal to 300 ohm. Suppose your R is 300 ohm. L is 60 millihenry. C is 0.5 microfarad and D is 50 volt and omega is 10,000 radian per second. So find the reactances XL, XC, the impedance Z, the current amplitude I, the phase angle phi and the voltage amplitude across each circuit. So it is very simple. What is the voltage amplitude? The voltage across the resistor is I into R. The voltage across the inductor is I into XL, where XL is omega. Here omega is given, L is given, and the voltage across the capacitor is I into XC, where XC is 1 by omega C. So you can work out it very easily. So XL, first find out XL. XL is omega, it is 600 ohm, like the last problem, and XC is 200 ohm. And what is the impedance? The impedance is 500 ohm. So what is your phi? Tan inverse XL minus XC by R. You can write BL minus BC by R, XL minus XC by R. So 600 minus 200 by 300, this is 53 degree. So phi is positive. It is understood because your XL is greater than XC. Now what is the voltage amplitude? What is VR? Already I have mentioned I into R. And what is the current through the circuit? First you have to find out what is the current V by Z. So 50 by 500, 0.01 ampere. Okay. Sorry, actually this is 0.1 ampere. Please correct it. This is 50 by 500. This is 0.1 ampere. Again I am repeating. This is 0.1 ampere. So what is VR? I into R. So 0.1 into 300. This is 30 volt. And BL is IXL 0.1 into 600. This is 60 volt. And BC is IXL. This is 20 volt. So this is your about what is the voltage across resistor, voltage across inductor, voltage across capacitor, what is the current. And this is the phase angle. As I have told you, your phase angle is positive because XL greater than XC. And what is the voltage? Already I have told you, you cannot just add the voltage because they are not in phase. And obviously, what is the, sorry, how can you find out this? What is the voltage B? This is also you can find out VR square plus VL minus VC square root over. If you go to this, you can get this much. 30 volt square plus 60 minus 20 square root over. So it is automatically equal to 50 volt. And the voltage leads the current by 50 volt. So you can see it is an inductive circuit. So when the inductance, you can see the inductive reactance is more and the phase angle is positive, you can say it is inductive dominating circuit. But if phi is negative, you can say capacitive circuit because your capacitance is dominating, capacitive reactance is dominating. Okay, so you can easily work out the problem. So as I have told you, uh, mm, in the that's in this circuit here, due to the AC source, a current is flowing, and what is the current amplitude? What is the voltage amplitude? So what should be the ideal frequency of the AC source so that you can get maximum current from a particular voltage source? So these things, that is the resonance in an AC circuit, we'll discuss in the next class. Also we'll discuss what is the power and resonance. Everything we'll discuss in the next lecture. So go through the lectures. This is your chapter 31. So the next lecture is the last lecture of the chapter 31, then chapter 32. Then this is the completion of your course. So go through all the lectures and if any doubt, please write to me. Thank you.